Hola, beautiful family. How are you guys doing?
Hello everyone, it's so good to connect with you all again.
We just put on our bathing suits. It's what, 8:30 in the morning, and we were on our way to the beach. We haven't even had our coffee yet. We said, let us just connect and make a video because our days right now are so packed with excitement. It's not like work anymore. We're constantly in a state of play. Literally, I say to him sometimes, hey, let's go play. Let's go play in the beach.
We're always playing with each other.
We're always playing. I finally have my play buddy. We're always playing with each other, and it really feels like humanity is being asked to play more. That's what 5D is all about. You're always in a state of play. And even when you work, like let's say you're creating or you're doing something that your mind classified in the past as work, it's now shifting to more a sense of play. Where do you want to spread your love? Where do you want to share your magic? Where do you want to, what do you want to do? How do you want to spend your time? So we're in a constant state of play, and we decided to make this video before we got too busy with all our playing and all our games so that we get this up. We haven't made a video together in like weeks now.
Yeah, it's been more than a week.
And I know we felt many of you missing us.
Yeah, we were feeling that tug, but at the same time, we've been so busy with all of our projects that we're rolling out that, it's just different now.
It's different. Yeah, Costa Rica, we actually thought we would come to Costa Rica and have all the time in the world to do YouTube videos, but we'll make another video next week, which we're planning for my birthday. We're going to tell you about all the magic that Costa Rica has had for us, and specifically how we're cracking through 5D here. We're literally, it feels like we're here in Costa Rica, and right now we're being asked, we're being trained, we're being shown and guided step by step to crack this energetic 5D barrier for humanity. So as we crack this 5D barrier energetically by constantly reflecting within ourselves what's not in the highest alignment, what's not in the highest divinity, what's not in the highest integrity. And I'm talking minute levels. Like this can easily be overlooked if you're not fully in your mastery and you're not fully aware of everything in your field right now. So we're going to go into all of this, but I just wanted to start by saying I've missed you guys, and it's so amazing that we're making a video together again. We've both had different schedules, and we're taking on different aspects of the project. Like he takes care of something, I take care of something. So this is amazing.
Yeah, and for those of you who love traveling and for those who love to connect with high-powered vortices like Sedona, Mount Shasta, like Bali, like Egypt, I have to tell you, Costa Rica should be on your list because as soon as we arrived here, it's like our vibration started up leveling, and we started seeing life from a different lens. All of our finer 5D lessons started coming online, and we feel like we're being attuned to this higher mastery level in Costa Rica, and it has a lot to do with the grid of the land. So definitely worth visiting, if staying here for living. It's an amazing place in so many ways.
I agree. And by the way, for those of you who are waiting with great anticipation, we are about to launch a very interesting, very exciting, very magical. It's our first public retreat since we started YouTube. It's fully in guidance. We're like being guided to get off our lazy asses, for lack of a better word, and say, hey, get some work done, like do some stuff, plan some retreats. So we have some amazing opportunities that we are sprinkling the final touches to. So the fairy dust is being sprinkled right now. It should be announced we're thinking a week or two. We're too busy playing, so we'll see. We have no deadlines. We never like to box ourselves with deadlines. We'll see. We always follow our heart and we go where our heart takes us.
Exactly.
I wanted to start off by telling you guys what an enormous shift we are creating together on this planet. So right now, all starseeds, all wayshowers, all the awakened beings holding a specific frequency within us, we are, even though we're geographically spaced so far apart, what we're doing in the inner planes is absolutely magical. Each of us is doing our bit in clearing the old 3D programs, in clearing the toxicity, in clearing the negativity out of our lives, but moving into the higher echelons of our own consciousness, of our own mastery. We're moving into the higher octaves of our mastery and clearing, and we'll go into that to really, really soak in this teaching. But we're all inevitably, in one way or the other, clearing so much that we're creating this energetic grid around planet Earth, and this positive grid is offsetting the negative grid that planet Earth has been under the control of for so long. So really, really take in how much you are doing on the inner planes. And I'm going to start off with one example, and then I'll pass it over to Siman, because I know we both have a lot to say about this topic. I'll give you a very simple example. Every relationship that is surfacing in your life right now is here as an opportunity for you to crack yet another code. So I'll repeat that. Every relationship that you are presented with right now, in your matrix, in your illusion, in your TV screen, in your video game, as I like to call this reality, what people are present right now? What is the common theme of your interactions? Now, it's most times humanity, especially once you awaken and you've reached a certain level of vibration, it's very easy to get tricked into thinking, oh, I'm a master, I'm in my mastery in doing this. And the other person needs to wake up a bit more or raise their vibration a bit more. But I'm saying, take that whole focus back into you. So a reminder that you incarnated on this planet at this particular time for this moment. Everything that you have been through in your life has literally been a training ground to give you all the tools in your toolbox to handle this particular phase and really rise and really shine and help shift the energetics of this planet.
Yeah, and right now the starseeds are being advised to really raise their vibration and focus on all of your ego lessons, because the message that we're getting from the universe is that we are about to become so powerful, pardon my voice, we are about to become so powerful that if we have not cleared our lower lessons, if we have not cleared our ego lessons, then they're going to come up in our way amplified. Like, let's say, how can I explain this in an example? Let's say you're walking in the sun, it's really hot, right? Now think of walking in the sun under a magnifying glass. That magnifying glass is going to be 5D. Whatever feels hot in 3D is going to become like a laser beam in 5D. You know what I mean?
I love that.
So anything that is remaining, even if it's like a sliver of your ego, if it's a sliver of your reptilian energy, if it's that little inner child that still needs healing, we need to go through like a fine-tooth comb and remove all of those finer lessons. Not remove, but come face to face with all our finer lessons of our ego and remove them, because what we're being prepared for is huge. Our planet is going to go through a shift in consciousness that we have never seen before in the history of humanity. And it is of utmost importance that we, specifically the light workers and the wayshowers who are heralding this this new age of consciousness, this new age of raising our vibration and frequency, all of us are leading humanity into this new phase. So that puts, not to put pressure on anyone, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. And we also go at our own pace. We cannot force our evolution. So this is not to say that you're lagging behind and that you need to move faster. Not at all. However, if you ever find that in some situations your ego still takes over and you have not addressed those situations, then now's the time to address them and really bring all of your life into harmony so that you're living more from the heart and you're more in flow with the guidance of your higher self rather than from playing from the space of your ego.
That's so important. The 3D programs really right now are being cleared at a microscopic level. And I can't stress enough, whatever you see in your illusion, in your video game, in your reality, because I like to look at this whole life on earth as simply like you're just getting all the experiences, all the people, all the relationships, all the behavioral traits that you can't stand, all of these are showing up in your field because you're required to clear them. So think of it as you're playing a video game and you are at the higher level right now where you have to step back and actually think, all right, I'm in the higher levels right now. What do I need to transcend this situation? Your ego is going to want to react right away, right? Your ego is, even if it's positive. So let's say you're having an issue with someone. I'll give you a very real example. Everything that's going on in our life right now, Siman and I are really good at this. This comes very naturally to us. So if I share with you how we do it, it is my hope that you can actually crack the code and say, all right, that's actually how easy it is. Because for us, it's super easy. What we do is we look at every single opportunity, every single relationship, everything in our lives, and we say, all right, what is the common theme? What are we seeing here? So I'll give you 2 examples that happened at the exact same time in the last 3 days in my field. That instantly I said, all right, something's coming up to clear. Now, why are these things coming up to clear? We'll talk about that in a second. So I was dealing with an attorney here to do some paperwork. And I found this attorney's energy horrible. Like I didn't enjoy being in his office at all. I feel like suffocated. So energy never lies. So I didn't enjoy him. He talks too much. He goes off topic a lot. So even if I would say to him, I have 10 minutes, he would talk about coffee shops. And so I kept having to exercise my boundaries with him and say, all right, I'm sorry, but I have to go. So I didn't enjoy that at all. A few days ago, I was faced with this situation where I could go the easy route and choose him as an attorney for this specific project because he's right in the city where I'm looking to, start this project, or go to a more seasoned attorney in San Jose, Costa Rica, and avoid the hassle of dealing with him. But I tuned in with my guidance and I said, there's something here that this person, this annoying attorney, has to teach me. So I said, I'm going to go into this in my mastery and see what comes up. What behavioral styles of mine do I need to shift? Do you get it? It's not about him. What behavioral styles am I still exhibiting? Am I still vibrating? That is somehow feeling off resonance, which is why this attorney is even in my field. So what I did was so I gave him the full benefit of doubt. First of all, I said, I'm going to pretend that I'm going to have respect for him as if he's an attorney I'm not going to think of his human quirks. I'm just going to be very direct with him and I'm going to see what happens. On the very second day of making this decision to go ahead with him, I said, all right, send me the contract. And there were 3 mistakes in the contract, basic mistakes. So instantly I said, all right, now what would a master do? Would a master continue going with someone that makes no sense, or do we transcend it by dealing with the situation head on? So I sent him a message and I said, I just want to make sure that these 3 oversights are actually oversights and not something else. And he didn't take ownership of it. He replied saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to update the contract. Oh yeah, we overlooked that. He was very casual about it. So that's when I said, I'm going to take full power. I still hadn't figured out what the lesson in it was for me. I'll tell you what the lesson was. It was so freaking awesome. So I'm like, okay, there's no lesson here, but let's see. I'll keep going with the flow. So I started drafting an email to him. That's where the lesson was. When I was drafting my email to him, I was speaking to him as if he's my employee. Not that I was consciously doing it, but the vibration of my words had the vibration of, hey, you're not high consciousness enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're kind of stupid. So, but it was very polite. That's the thing. The ego is very tricky. It's a disguise master. And luckily I showed that email to Siman and he's like, oh, that's it. Like he caught it right away. Because I was saying, what was that sentence I wrote?
Something about he's not doing his job right, or it was kind of like putting him.
Oh, I said it's not my job to check these things. It's yours as a lawyer. Like I was speaking to him. Even that I thought was in my mastery. But Siman, when I showed it to Siman, that was the lesson I needed to learn. He said, no, shift it. Don't talk to him like he's your employee. Instead, put the onus on him. Say, we're not legal experts. We're counting on you to check these things for us. And it's a bit unsettling when we're looking at all of these mistakes and we're like not sure what other mistakes to look at. And then in my mastery, I literally said, please note that the matter is closed from our end and we will not be proceeding with you. But you see, I didn't dismiss him until I realized what that lesson was in it for me. It was communication. As soon as I got triggered or frustrated with people because I thought they were not in their integrity, I started speaking to them. I used to speak to them in a different way. Now the same thing resurfaced in my field just yesterday, and because I was aware of my speaking style, boom, I shifted the energy so powerfully, and I'll tell you that. You remember when I came to Costa Rica, I told you guys that at the very last minute we gifted our house basically rent-free to a friend. They weren't really friends, but to cut a long story short, they were in need. We said, you can stay in our house. And yesterday I was talking to them and I noticed that sliver. Of communication style in my field. And even though they didn't say anything, of course, they're living in my house rent-free. So they're not just going to say, hey, you're kind of talking to us in this way. I self-reflected and I said, holy shit, I'm actually having this slight entitlement issue. Like, oh, they're living in my house, so I can speak however I want. And trust me, it wasn't even rude. If you're not really aware at that level of how you're communicating with people, it's very easy for you to justify your own behavior. So at dinner last night, I said, no, something's off. So I sent them a message last night at 7 o'clock and I said, I just self-reflected on how I imposed this on you. Like, even though these guys are living rent-free, Siman and I treat them with so much respect and gratitude. Instead of going into, oh, they're doing all of this for us, we go into gratitude of their house sitting for us. They're taking care of our mail for us. So it's very important to not go into this reptilian energy of talking down to people or expecting something from people or expecting a certain behavior style for people just because you're doing them a favor. So I said, I self-reflected, and something about me enforcing this new requirement doesn't feel right to you. So you know what? We're going to, but at the same time, we're required to do this because it's like an energy exchange. Because what I was saying to them was, hey, I think you should pay for utilities. It would be great, $400-500 a month. The amount's not important. Because the guidance was to open up the energy of abundance by empowering them to pay for utilities. Now, saying that, so initially I just told them, I'm like, hey, this is the guidance, so this is what we're doing. But then when I realized how I was coming off, that's not fair to them. I never told them about utilities when they were moving in. They don't have to listen to my guidance, right? So when I put the ball in their court and I said, I don't feel right about how I handle this. So I'm going to not even charge utilities for the first month. And we can do a super low number for starting the second month. It's more to honor the energy exchange. I sent that last night and I went to bed. This morning when I woke up, there was a complete shift in the energy of the person that was writing to me. They said, not only did they EMT me the full amount, so like instead of the lower amount, the full amount that I had suggested, they got it. They're like, oh my God, we get it. Because they're also currently working on unlocking their own abundance. And they said, we've sent you the EMT. Thank you so much for explaining this to us. And absolutely, we're going to open up our abundance. We're going to honor this energy exchange. And we understand, like, I didn't tell them it's not about the money. I'm telling you guys, it wasn't even about the money. It was about opening the energy of abundance. And we're being asked to do this for the planet, for humanity. And you're being asked to do this for all of humanity. This is what Starseeds are here for. So I just wanted to share that example of taking full ownership and full control of every behavioral style that you're partaking in. Take full onus and say, what am I doing that still has the vibration of a reptilian consciousness, of an ego consciousness, of a 3D consciousness? And how do I master that? And how would my higher self behave? How would God behave? How would I behave in my divinity?
Yeah, and one more, I wanted to go deeper into the two examples that EldoRa just gave, because there's so many layers to these lessons that are being shown to us. In particular, in many empaths, we have a tendency to take the burden of others onto ourselves and say, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I should just overlook this mistake they made. And we tend to take everything on ourselves and try to make things right and try to fix things that are not within our domain. So, for example, with that attorney, the moment that he sent us his first draft of the agreement that we paid him to draft for us, and the agreement had basic mistakes like the date of our closing was in the past and the amount was completely wrong, the purchase price amount. So based on that, we just paused. We're like, wait a minute, do we just fix this? Like, do we just send him an email, hey, fix these two things and let's move forward? Or do we say, no, we cannot work with people who are so clumsy or
dumb.
That's the first at the same time, to be honest, it's not about being dumb, but maybe he's being careless. Maybe he thinks, maybe he treats other clients this way and they let him get away with it.
Exactly.
But in our mastery, the question was, do we continue with this based on how big these flaws are staring at us in the face? If we had continued with that situation and said, hey, just fix these two things, what if in the future there's 10 other legal issues that are highly complex that he's overlooked? If he cannot fix the basic things, how can we expect him to look at the higher level details? So in our mastery, we had to come face to face with these issues and say, this is not going to work out for us. And we had to bring this relationship to an end right then and there. Because in your mastery, all energy, all lines of communication, and all expectations have to be clear. And that's the thread that ties the two examples together with the people who are staying in our house as well. When we felt that we were communicating with them, but it was not 100% crystal clear, like there was still a bit of like tension in the air.
In the field, yes.
In the field, then we had to clear that. So in some cases, it means letting people go and communicating clearly to them that this is not working out and this is a deal breaker for us. And in the other case, it was that we need to get better at owning our communication and making sure we're fully resonating with our heart in each of the words that we speak. And that changes the whole situation and it healed the situation for us.
Yes.
So it really depends on the situation in particular, but clear communication is very important right now.
Absolutely. And you know what? To reinforce, it's never about the other person. So us not going through this attorney, it's not about the attorney, it's about us. If we had continued saying, oh, well, this is easy, he's already started, let's do it. That's not in mastery. And what would happen? There would be irritation in our field. There would be constant irritation. So do you respect yourself enough right now? That's the question I'm asking you. Do you respect yourself enough to completely let any relationships that are not vibrating in integrity, in authenticity, in honesty, are you ready to let them go? Or are you continuously going to put your energy and reinforce and re-amplify these loops? Because if you want, so let's say you have a friend that you absolutely know this friendship is not good for you. But because you're an empath, you're taking on their burden all the time. You're saying, all right, you know what? I've cut it off, but I feel bad. I understand that she's going through a hard time. And let's say you take a week off, but then you go back into your old ways. Your empath style says, I'm just going to text her. Do you think this person's going to shift in a week? So what are you doing? That person's not going to shift in a week. If that person had shifted, there would not be an issue in your field. So what you're doing is you're further reinforcing this strand between you and this person, this cord that wants to die, that wants to burn into ashes, but you're saying, you know what, this cord is getting weak, but I'm going to put in a new cord. I'm going to attach a new cord. That's how it works. So in your chakras, you're constantly vibrating a dissonance in your field. You're constantly vibrating that this doesn't feel good, but I'm still going to attach a cord here. This attorney doesn't feel good, but I'm still going to work with him. This tenants, well, they're living in my house rent-free, so I'm going to dictate it. And guess what? This amount is not even that high, so if they don't get it, it's their problem. But what happens when we think that way? That is still a very egoic way of thinking. Even though it's in your rights, it's not the divine way. It's not the way guides speak. It's not the way angels and ascended masters speak. So there's one thing about standing in your power, but there's also something about that power becomes even more powerful when you're in your authenticity, when you're in your humility, and then you're in your mastery. So that power just amplifies. So really, really tune in. Every relationship in your life right now is reflecting something to you. The minute you identify, go to the root cause. If something in your life right now is feeling not good, let's say there's a relationship that's not feeling good. This is what I'd suggest you do. Take a few steps back, create space, and get to the root cause of what's in your field with this person. Get to the root cause. If you feel hurt by them, if you feel abandoned by them, if you feel they're being rude to you, if you feel they're mocking you for your choices, let's say you like one president and they think he's a joker and they just don't have the consciousness or the maturity to have an open conversation, but they're getting very triggered by it. Look at all of this and say, all right, what is the lesson for me? Because I'm just behaving the same. I'm going back into all these relationships. I'm going and behaving the same way. I'm forgiving, I'm reopening. And empaths, it's very easy. I'm famous for this. I always think, oh, but I don't want to let go of this relationship. I can see this as a good person. I can see that as a good person. But that's the thing. We're all good people. So don't keep reinforcing the cord with people that are not meant to be in your life. Let it go. Because the minute you let it go, your reality shifts and you have higher level lessons, higher friendships, and then you open the way. Literally, when you let go of what no longer resonates, whether it's a job or a relationship or a friendship, whatever it is, when you let go, what does that do energetically for you? That space leaves your field. These cords are not tugging at you and weighing you down. So what happens up is you have this immense space in your aura now for new opportunities, new friendships that are better suited into your field to come into your field.
Yeah. And in other words, another way of saying that is that you're blocking your superhuman abilities from coming into your life by holding on to 3D cords. So by holding on to relationships that don't serve you or are not uplifting in the highest manner, we are creating so much clutter in our life. We are creating so much gunk in our field that higher information is not able to come in. Higher information is waiting just above your aura. It's waiting for you to clear space, like clear your basement, clear your aura, clear your field of all the relationships that are old energy, that are no longer meant for your future. And when you do that, you are not only making your life easier, not only making your life simpler, you're opening up all the new doorways that have been waiting for you. There could be a doorway of a lifetime. There could be a doorway of a timeline where you could be walking into your heaven on earth, and it could be just around the corner. But it's maybe waiting for you to clear those few final ego lessons or few final people that are still tugging at you in a negative way, and you need to let them go. And your higher self is infinitely patient, so they're going to wait for you until you take the action. So when you do, that doorway automatically opens up for you. So the lesson coming in is very clear. No, don't wait for things to be cleared out of your life. You have to move forward now. Don't wait for the bus to come to you, the bus of Ascension to pick you up and take you to the destination. There's no such bus coming. We have to ride our own train. We have to clear our own path. We have to make our own way. We have to start moving forward. So it's just to urge people who are currently in a stagnant state. Yes. People who are letting energy stagnate and they're just not moving forward. It's time to push forward.
And guys, I really have something to inspire you. I have something that just came to me. Do you guys know what it feels like to be connected to this supercomputer? This supercomputer of consciousness. I didn't have that connection just 2 years ago. Siman did. I remember saying to Siman, how do you know everything? And he says, because I'm connected to this supercomputer, this quantum computer. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It sounds kind of crazy. I want to be connected to the supercomputer, remember?
Yeah.
And he would always say to me, you will be, but you have to clear the gunk.
All of us will be.
We all will be, but we have to clear the
exciting.
gunk. And I'd literally say to him, I would ask him something and he would say, and he'd have the answer. And I'd be like, where are you pulling this out of? Are you winging it? And it was always the perfect guidance. So what I want to share with you guys is the next steps of what's coming to you. If you're not already connected to this quantum computer of knowledge.
Guidance on demand.
It's guidance on demand, exactly. It is what liberated me and made me feel like I'm not alone on this planet anymore. Before that, I was like, oh my God, screw this. I'm all alone on this planet. Literally, I have met so many people, and I literally feel like, where are my type of people that we can just be without, disharmony, without blame, without egos getting triggered. And now I don't feel that longing anymore. I am so self-sufficient because I have this guidance on demand. I have this invisible team, which I really, really want to. This is coming, guys. If you're not already at that point, this is the next step. I didn't have this 2 years ago. I was connected, but not to that quantum computer, not to guidance on demand. So what happens when you're connected to this source, this infinite source? It's almost like you're plugged into something that has all the answers. And once you have that, you don't really need to think, do I move? Do I quit my job? Do I leave this marriage? Do I eat cheese, or is it not good for me? All of a sudden, all your clouds, the fog just lifts and you have crystal clear clarity. Like think about it. We just literally packed our bags and moved to Costa Rica because we knew. So what's happening right now is those of us who are connected to this quantum computer, like you could be connected in a way that's not yet at its full potential. And that is what I'm trying to say to you. You can move into the higher states of being connected to the point where your guides will talk to you with everything. So let's say there's something out of alignment. You can so clearly, your guides are working with you right now like never before, because we're cracking this shell. Think of it as an eggshell of consciousness around Earth, and we're hatching through that. We're literally hatching through that eggshell and rebirthing this 5D. We're birthing this 5D consciousness. So really, really start clearing the gunk, because the next step is this mega quantum computer. Once you're attached to that, you don't need to read books. You don't need to look for information. It all streams into you. Your life becomes like just a flow. It's like a flow. Like right now, we don't have a place to stay after December 20th. And the guidance is, that timeline hasn't yet been created. Who knows? We may go to Miami for 2 weeks to party for New Year's Eve. But my point is, we don't stress it because we're connected to guidance on demand. The money will open up when we need money. It's available on demand. The support we need is on demand. The friendships we need is on demand. The opportunities we need are on demand. The guidance is on demand.
Literally, the way we're living our life right now is that we're taking the step and the ground is appearing beneath us. We're simply affirming to the universe, yep, we want this as our dream mansion. We want this as our dream friends. We want this kind of lifestyle. We want a beach in front of us. And all of these things are magically appearing. And it's not magic. Many people are wondering, how does the science of this actually work? What do I actually need to do? So I wanted to go a bit deeper into that and explain that it's all about your physical vessel. So it starts with the physical vessel, because that is the layer of 3D. This is how we interface with our world. So our physical vessel is a quantum computer, okay? And what has happened is this quantum computer, imagine the motherboard of the quantum computer has lots of dust on it right now. So we need to wipe all that dust off so that circuits start flowing again. So information starts flowing through all of our circuits of this quantum computer. And what makes this dust and all this gunk settle into our circuits, what it is our diet. First of all, if you're going to be eating hamburgers and poutine every other day, then you're putting gunk and you're blocking the circuits, you're blocking the flow. If you're not drinking water, or if you're drinking water with lots of impurities and chemicals, that's also gunk. You're literally blocking your circuits. It looks like dark matter in your body. So the more we start cleaning our vessels, the more we start cleansing and clearing by eating super high vibing foods, clean, pure waters. And the next layer is our emotional body. What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? Are you putting yourself first? Are you putting your priorities first? And are you loving yourself enough? That opens up the circuits of your emotional body. Are you still holding on to old 3D relationships that are not serving you? Are you letting people boss you around? Are you holding on to people who are not for your highest good? That clears your emotional body. Then comes your mental body. Are you thinking clear thoughts? Are you thinking positive thoughts? Or are you still vibrating poor me, poor me? Because that's going to clog up your mental field. So all of these layers of our being, starting from our physical, moving out to our spiritual, all of these need to be cleared out. That's why it is so important to look at every aspect of your life right now through a magnifying glass and clear all the lessons. Stop putting the onus on other people and bring it back to yourself as a master. A master never says, you need to change in order for my life to be better. They will never say that. If they do, then they're not masters.
They're an amateur.
Exactly. So we always bring the focus back onto ourselves and saying, what do we need to change here? When we change within, it changes outside.
You know, it reminds me of, I'm sorry if you're watching, I'm sorry, but yes, I am talking about you. So one person literally sent me commented on one of our old videos and said, oh, EldoRa, can you please not eat fruit? You're eating papaya and I'm fasting. And we had such a chuckle. We're like, oh my Lord. So we said, so I was very I have no tolerance for that, but more from a teacher point of view, I have no tolerance for that kind of language or expectation throwing around in my personal life. But on YouTube, I'm a teacher. So I replied to that person very, very firmly, but also respectfully. And I said, then perhaps you watch my video when you're not fasting. Because she's like, I'm fasting and you're eating. This is how people are always projecting their expectations on others. And it's just hilarious. It's just so hilarious. One other thing that came to mind, guys, as I was looking at my new haircut, which you can see is quite shorter. My hair was till here and it's gone short a few days ago. So this is something that I feel like it's happening to a lot of us. Okay, this is important, you guys. This is important. So you know how when you're in when everything, so it kind of is a continuation of what Siman just said. It's about making sure there's no dissonance or chaos or confusion or what's that word? There's no shake in your field. So when I went, and this, I can give you many examples on this. When I went to get my haircut, I literally said to her, just take an inch off. I just want to trim, but this is Costa Rican style. She literally, the first one, she was like, la, 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 and she took that much off. I've been growing my hair for 4 years or 3 years. And going to this one person in Toronto because she doesn't need to prove herself and cut off 6 inches. And I was shocked. But at the same time, I was in my mastery and I said, all right, I'm not going to lose my sleep and lower my vibration and hate my hair and say, what the hell's happening with my hair? And all my childhood trauma came up because once I remember my dad forced me to cut my hair like a boy cut. He wanted me to look like a boy because he thought guys were too attracted to me. So he wanted me to go get really short hair so I don't look attractive. That was his theory. So all of that trauma came up and I said to Siman, I look like a boy. And he's like, you don't look like a boy at all. So he gave me so much love. This was just 2 days ago. And he said, you know what?
She looks wonderful, guys. Come on.
I know, but my hair, it's literally so short at the back. It's just trauma. That's how traumas work. And he says, you look so pretty. And he's like, and he's the one who likes long hair. So I'm like, no, you're the one who told me you have long hair. He's like, no, cancel all of that. So right now, if I continued my life with dissonance, I hate my hair, I hate my hair, I hate my hair, I couldn't be making this YouTube video. I couldn't be rocking this YouTube video. What I did was, yesterday I sent that hairstylist a message because I had never told her if I loved it or I hated it. I said, I love my new hair. In fact, this short hair is giving me a new energy. It's this new EldoRa Rose energy. So you see, I'm loving I'm loving these situations. I'm not shunning them. I'm not putting my story. I'm not putting my judgment. I'm not comparing her to my Toronto stylist. Maybe this is exactly what I need. And the minute I had that shift, which was yesterday, I got my haircut day before, instantly, I feel 10 years younger. I look 10 years younger. Last night, I put on this little mini dress, super mini dress, and it looked really sexy. And I just had my hair flowing like this. And Siman's like, babe, you look so sexy. You see, it's just the energy. It shifted from inside. But if I walked around saying I look like a boy, I look so terrible, it's not even the truth. It creates a dissonance in your field. So really own what parts of your field have that dissonance. Let's say you go and you go buy something. I was very famous for this. I would go buy something in the boutique. I'd spend $300, and then I'd come back and think, oh my God, did I overspend? Should I have bought this? Oh shit, should I have bought that? And now what I do is I get whatever I want. There's no lack. If I want that $300 dress, I buy it. If I want that $1,000 dress, I buy it. If I want that $10 dress, I buy it. I don't overthink it. But at the same time, I am not creating a dissonance in my field by buying too much and not using it. Because in my integrity, I can't allow that. I can't become a hoarder because that's not mastery. So I'm in my power. I'm saying, all right, this is something that can add value to my life. I would like to buy that. I would like to buy this. Or I would like to splurge and go on a luxury vacation. But is it creating a rift in my field? Or is it seeming clear in my field? So clear your field. It's very important, because unless you clear your field and own your space, which we're going to actually be teaching this. We're launching some very, very exciting events, you guys, offerings. We are packing it with information because this is so important. The guides are saying this is the 101. You have to own your energy field and really see, where are you in dissonance? If you're speaking to this lawyer and you're in dissonance, what's happening to your field? Your field is shaky. Your field is not happy. If you're speaking to these renters and you're like having this energy of ego, in your heart, you're like, shit, I thought I'm a master, but look at me, I'm speaking in my ego. So it's creating a rift in your field. Even though you're pretending to them you're a master, that it's not sitting well with you. So by addressing these energies, addressing these head on and taking full ownership and saying, no, this isn't working for me. I need to openly say that this is not right and take full ownership of it. So by doing that, the energy field is clear. They're feeling clear, we're feeling clear. So you see how clear, that's all we have to do right now.
Yeah, and another angle of looking at that is that we can change the definition of any event in our life to a new definition that favors us. For example, with EldoRa's haircut, her initial reaction was based on the childhood trauma of having her hair chopped off with a boy cut, because her dad didn't want her to look too pretty in front of boys. So that left a scar, right? So when this 3 inches was chopped off, it brought up that old trauma suddenly. But she overcame that with her mastery by looking at her, how beautiful she actually looks, rather than, so just take the filter of that scar and the trauma off.
You also helped so much. He helped so much. He kept saying to me,
it's not that difficult living with a beautiful woman like this.
He's like, baby, you look so pretty. And he doesn't bullshit me. Like, he doesn't just say it to, and I know that. If I wear a dress, I don't like, it when guys just say, oh yeah, you look good, because the woman can't handle the truth. I'm like, he says, I love your hair. Like, it's actually suiting you. And then I said, all right, let me look at my hair with Siman's lens. And as soon as I did that, I said, actually, I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually pretty. And I said to the lady, I'm actually getting inspired to keep it short, because it's giving me this bounce that I didn't have before. So we can
apply that principle to any situation in your life and change the definition of each incident to something that favors you. Maybe it's something you needed to learn. Maybe it's something you needed to change within yourself. Maybe it's something you needed to let go of. So that's the theme that's coming up in the collective right now. Just look within and take your power back and change how you perceive life, and change the definition of each event in your life to something that is more in line with what's flowing with your heart, what's flowing with your higher self.
And we're going to wrap this up soon, because my stomach's actually making some funny noises. It's asking for its morning coffee, which, by the way, we're heading over right there to this beautiful little restaurant. It's called Pico. It's right on the beach. We have our almond lattes, leche. What is it?
Cappuccino con leche de almendra.
Because his Spanish is getting too good, by the way. Cappuccino con leche de almendras. I did it. So I will wrap this up by saying that, what was I going to say? I was going to say something before we were talking about what?
About being in our mastery, taking our power back.
Yes. Oh, yes, I got it. And all of that is happening because your higher self wants to merge with you in order to prepare you for what's coming to earth. Your higher self is preparing you, whether it's first contact or dealing with these immensely powerful, huge beings of light, working with angels, working with the ascended masters. Your higher self is tuning you right now. So really, really look at how every example, every situation in life is pushing you up to the next level, pushing you up to the next level. And don't stay in that state of dissonance, in that state of shakiness, in that state of confusion. Clear
your
it as
field
you go.
in every aspect that you see. Anytime lessons come up, just deal with them right away. Don't even deal with them tomorrow. Deal with them right away.
And take a step
Keep
back.
going.
Don't deal with them in an active way of, all right, I'm going to do this. No. Take a step back. Pause, disconnect. You don't owe that other person a message right away. You don't owe that person anything. I know I'm speaking to many of you, thousands of you right now when I say this. You don't owe them anything. It's all about you. So don't become this beautiful empath who wants to take on everyone's burden. That's not in your mastery. You take your time off, and if you don't even want to send a message, but you want to make that shift from within, because you don't need to send a message. That shift has to happen from within. If you, let's say, are in a very, very resentful conversation with someone and you made that shift inside, saying, I am not continuing with this, instead of sending them a message saying, hey, I don't want to be friends anymore, maybe an invitation is for you to shift inside and actually send them love, send them gratitude, and send them your true reconciliation of, I'm clearing the energy between you and me, and now my job is done. Whether you keep it or you're not, my job is done. So clear the energy from your space. And if it helps you to know that they're also, if it helps you to have them clear it too, have that conversation, but then detach. Don't keep creating that hard cord. Don't keep putting that cord. Make the decision and then stand in your power. Don't keep wavering. Don't keep going back, because you're just wasting time. You're going in the same loop over and over and over and over and over again, like a dog chasing his tail. And there's no need for that right now. In fact, there's no time for that. Move up, move up, move up. That's the message. Move up.
And one more quick tip that I wanted to leave everyone with is that whenever you're in a dilemma, whether something is coming from your ego or whether it's coming from your higher self, the litmus test or the clear way to determine whether it's guidance or if you're in your ego is to notice whether it's difficult or easy. Whenever something is in guidance, like let's say you want to have a difficult conversation with someone and it's just feeling yucky, you don't want to talk to them right now. So whenever something's feeling very difficult, it's usually not guidance. It means you need to back off a bit and clear the space before you move on. When you're moving from your guidance, from your heart, it's going to just feel right. And sometimes feeling right for you could mean not talking to that person or not having to deal with that situation in that particular time and just creating the distance. However, if you jump into the timeline, like just picture yourself speaking to that person in the future and having that conversation in your third eye and see how it resonates within you. If you feel that having that conversation will create more love and harmony and it seems good, then it is guided. So always tune in. You have the ability to jump into different timelines and hold different conversations with people that you have not even had yet and get the information back from that timeline to determine whether you want to move in that direction or not. So start using your skills to make your life more simple.
These skills are in you guys. We use this when we go to parties. So let's say somebody invites us and instantly we're like, I don't know, should we go, should we not go? You know what we do? This is actually a few years ago. Right now we've gotten really good at this, I'd say. But a year, 2 years ago, what we do is we timeline jump. We timeline jump to us having fun at the party. No, us being at the party, and we can actually project through our third eye. We can visualize how does this feel? Does this feel good? Or is it just a waste of our time? Do we feel exhausted? So by going into all these timelines, we can actually see, no, we'd rather just stay home and chill by ourselves or make a YouTube video. It's more meaningful to us. Or we can see, Actually, yeah, let's go. You can get the feeling sensor by jumping to that timeline, by check. You have all these tools built into you. We have the technology. We just have to start using it. So for all of this, you have to clear your third eye. You have to clear your crown. Keep your chakras clear. I feel like a lot of humanity is still stuck with holding on to the friendships, holding on to the toxicity, holding on to all the stories, holding on to all the judgments, the resentment, the guilt. All of that has to go before this new world births within you or for you. And that world will then take you on an adventure where your higher self will tune you. Your higher self will guide you. It'll be like this invisible force guiding you through the pitch black forest, but you can walk there with your eyes closed because you've got this invisible force that's genius, that's brilliant, that's guiding you. And you have this trust with this person. It's almost like God, energy, source, whatever you want to call it. So I really want everybody watching to get to that step. This was the whole inspiration for this video.
Yeah, and the good news is that as you progress further in your evolution, the lessons get easier and more fun. So right now our lessons are just fun.
They're not hard.
They're
oh my
not
God.
hard anymore.
And we all go through the hard lessons. The hard lessons are like the bigger ones. Like if you have huge traumas or huge blocks.
Like dealing with family and friends, those are like the heavy stuff. But after you lift the heavy blocks,
it becomes about haircuts.
Easier.
It becomes about what haircut.
Or having no hair at all.
All right, you guys, we love you so much. Sending you all our love. It is such a pleasure chatting with you. It raises our vibration every time we make these videos. We feel awesome. We're supercharged the whole day. And we've been feeling like, oh shit, we haven't made a video in over
It's easy to get lost in time in this space, right?
Yeah, we're just lost. We're lost in this wonderland. It's like a wonderland of play. This is our playground. We're always...
Even our work is play. There's no more work. It's just like everything we're creating is fueling us with passion and excitement.
Yes. It's going to the beach, coming back, recording a video, and then working on a course, then working on a retreat, going back to the beach, having a lovely seafood, dinner on the beach. It's just a very different timeline. And somebody else, like an alternate reality, we could go into stress, we could go into focus on all the worst things, we could focus on the vaccinations, we could focus on the travel bans, we could focus on, but that doesn't exist in our world.
It doesn't mean that stress does not exist in our life. Don't take it that way. We are dealing with everything, but we choose to focus on all the positive and create heaven on earth for us. Even here, we could be having an alternate timeline where we're miserable.
Exactly. You get to choose whether you focus on the stress or you focus on the bliss. And whatever you focus on grows. I repeat, whatever you focus on becomes your dominant reality. On that note, my friends, sending you all our love. Until next time.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to like. That helps with the algorithms. Don't forget to comment. That also helps with the algorithms, and we love hearing from you. And please share, because YouTube has cracked up their codes on our algorithms.
YouTube is kind of silencing a lot of people, and so anything that boosts the algorithm.
Yes, we used to get like 300 to 500 new subscribers a day. Now we barely get 200 a week.
That's why we chose to move to brand new tube, and it's going to be a gradual transition, not like cold turkey, but we're taking steps.
But do subscribe to the brand new tube channel. It's called EldoRa and Siman. So you just go to brand new tube, you look for EldoRa and Siman. Some of our videos will pop up. Then you click on one of them underneath where it says EldoRa and Siman and subscribe. So hang in there while we get all these techie glitches out of our way.
Shaky phase of the Ascension right now.
Yes, totally. So find your stability amidst all the shakiness and all the chaos. So much love, you guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.